We are brought to you by TabTouch. Got the touch? Download the TabTouch app today. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. This is the Hardball Gets AFL show. My name is Nick Rynne, joined by Xavier Ellis and Ryan Daniels. What's going on?
Well, you're back.
I'm back.
From nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
And there was just a mystery absence on Friday that cannot be explained. You've come in with a bit more energy and has it been a bit diva-ish this morning
do you want to tell the real story or do you want to stick with the rehab?
Yeah, what do you want
Your
to
Stick with
choice.
the rehab.
Rehab.
So hold on. The real story is worse than the rehab?
No, I just can't get into the real
It's
story
up to
right
you.
now.
Do you want the real story or rehab? No other explanations.
Where's rehab then?
It's rehab. So how you going?
That's why the voice is a bit croaky. It's just the coming down.
I think we've all had this croaky stuff coming around.
Yeah, definitely. Can we expect you to be here from now
Yes,
on?
yeah. No, we'll stick it out.
You will commit to the rest of the season right here and right now.
Yes, unless there's like a day where I can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, but no, okay, I'll be.
You've got to go back to the clinic for something. You know.
Yeah, this is right. Yeah, we've
Are
got
you-
follow-ups.
Are you
Right,
only buying coffee now at places with guys whose faces look like you?
That is. So
The
that's
guy-
Little
I
Sup.
thought the exact same thing.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I just haven't noticed that until now. And I don't think that guy even owns it anymore. But he's on the cups. Little Sup down in Northcote.
Now, I love
Good
dolphins.
spot.
Dolphins.
Is there
Love
a dolphin on there?
dolphins. Bring back the plastic lids.
What?
Paper
Is this
lid-
not? Oh,
Paper lids on
Right.
a coffee cup. As soon as you've had one sip, you actually look like it looks disgusting for everyone else to look. It looks like you've made love to the cup.
yeah, it does.
It
doesn't it?
sticks to your
No,
lips.
so hold on.
They
It
are-
looks like the
they
opposite. It
are-
looks like someone's had a
don't
big
get me-
curry the night.
But
Yeah.
you love the Dolphins.
I love the dolphins.
But you're saying you love the Dolphins, but you love the convenience of a plastic
More
lid
than the
So
Dolphins.
the Dolphins can all die just so that you
No,
don't
no,
have
no,
to
no,
deal
no.
with a little bit
We've
of...
always said dolphins are, well, it's all just a little bit of an inconvenience for the dolphin too. So who wins out here?
Everybody.
Actually,
Give and take.
we were out having a fish on Sunday night, flat as a tack, and massive pot of dolphins went past. Geez, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Too many of them, though. You
Are you
reckon?
okay? It's been
That was a
happening.
whistle
No,
moment.
actually,
You
I
getting into
do.
those brownies again?
I do need to do a welfare check on you.
On
Are
me?
you okay?
Why? What's happened to me?
Well, the week before you got backstabbed,
yeah, that's
and
true.
they tried to sack you.
Oh, geez, I came back hard, though.
And then you have been having Twitter stoushes with people accusing you
Oh,
of
yeah,
doing
what's going on?
accusing you of doing fake made up stories.
Fake news?
You're just,
Who's on
you're just
no.
naming Western Australian kids to come home.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I mute those people. You know that, right?
You block them.
Yeah, but we see it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you can see all you like.
It has to be a response for you to come back and be like, "Oh, geez, everybody relax."
No,
Yeah,
well,
you did. You
yeah,
came back.
yeah.
So you must have been looking at it. So,
I-
I'm worried
no,
for you.
So I see those, and then once they go past that point, I'm like, all right, you've been muted. So you can yell out into a void all you like. So like,
no, but they yell to each other.
yeah, that's great. Do whatever you got to do. Like have a little yell, and then you get other people chiming in, having a crack at them, and then it turns into a whole thing.
So how you've had a tough 8 days? How
no,
are
I don't care. Yesterday doesn't bother me at all.
you? No, you look
I
upset.
put the story with those sorts of stories. You're going to get people who are annoyed. So in this case, it was Sydney Swans fans. A lot
Yeah.
of people in the Sydney Swans camp love Angus Sheldon.
They do,
as
eh?
we do.
The old
as
beef.
we do. And
No, I don't. I would have loved him a hell of a lot more if he got 20 and not 19 on the weekend.
Hey, I did bounce back though on the rub.
Did you fight back?
Oh, I hit it hard.
Did ya?
And got a text from Brownie.
Oh, did you?
Great work, teammate. That was perfect.
Oh,
Called
what
your
a-
teammate.
Brownie, what a
No, he didn't
suck
say
up.
teammate. He said mate.
Oh, I think he said teammate. I was like,
Suck
you
up,
guys are
Brownie.
wankers.
No, we're back on.
Okay.
We're back on. I just came with the right energy and I hit it hard. Can we just talk a little bit about, I hinted about this on Friday,
Oh yeah.
because you've been quiet for a long time on the Instagram.
Well, I just don't use it, to be fair.
Yeah, but you had that period where you were launching into the influencer space and it was getting a bit ridiculous. And we kept pulling you up.
No, this
And
is bigger things in
no.
life.
And I think you took the feedback on board that you were starting to sell yourself.
I wasn't
starting to
selling.
s-
I wasn't getting anything for free, so
Well,
it's hardly selling
well,
myself.
you were, though. You were starting to sell
I was
out.
just promoting things.
No. So every now and then you'd do something out of the kindness of your heart. And then 90% of the time you were getting something
The
out.
pork.
Yeah, you got the pork.
Yeah, pork was definitely something. We still don't know what happened with that, the Good Grocer or the IGA or whatever it
Oh
was.
yeah, that was like
yeah.
a once or
That was
twice, wasn't
sus.
it?
The Good Grocer's is beautiful. That is,
Is it
open.
you and Harley? Oh no, Harley's herdsman, isn't
When I drive to work at 4 a.m., the Good Grocer's open 24 hours. If you're ever pissed, this is true.
Here we go.
If you're ever absolutely pissed on a Saturday night or whatever night it is, and you're like, "Fuck, I don't want to do I don't want to do Macca's or something," go to the Good Grocer, get yourself a cooked chook.
Where is this?
Wembley, it's one in Wembley. They're everywhere.
24 hours.
24 hours.
Are they all 24 hours?
Oh, I know the one in Wembley certainly is. Get yourself a cooked chook, go home and just have a chook, go to bed. You'll wake up 100%.
And then
just eat the whole chicken.
the next day, go to the recovery lab in Jollymore.
Oh, Rec Lab.
Yes.
Because this is a follow-up post.
Nick likes that.
I know
So
Rec
you
Lab.
had the first one, which we flagged, and you said supporting small business, kindness of my heart. Now then, about 5 days later, I'm in at Triple M.
Do you like?
Hold on. No, this is what I'm talking about. I'm in at Triple M, and I see the producers holding these cards for Rec Lab. Like a buy one, get one free. Or whatever.
No. None of the buy one, get one free. Just have come
Just
have
have
an
a free.
experience.
Yeah, so
yeah,
they're all
throw
over.
it over here.
No,
Do you want one?
Yeah.
they're all over the desk.
Here we go.
So
They're not all over the desk.
No, so he's not only posting now, and this is a follow-up post. This is yesterday. He's done it again, going through my sauna phase, and it's him in the red.
Yeah,
tagging
infrared
him in,
sauna.
Infrared,
and he's hand-
Reddy's liking
I'm
what
going
he's.
to get
and he's,
down there.
and he's handing out these cards to anybody who shows
in.
half an interest. You are on the payroll,
Nope.
or you are. There's absolutely no chance you're paying for this.
No, Recovery Lab is owned by a mate.
You're not paying for these sessions.
Do you want one?
See?
No, I don't.
That's your
I
response
don't
is to
use
give
these.
me a cut.
I like to.
Are you
You
paying?
don't use them because you're on the door.
Are you handing over your money for these sessions? It's okay to say no.
So no, I'm not.
Good. Thank you.
But-
there we go. Got
But
to the
it's a
bottom of it.
mate who owns it.
Doesn't matter. It's still influencing.
And I'd like
You're
to
influencing.
So Recovery Lab, in all seriousness,
Here we go.
Rynne, you're keen.
I'm going,
You're
I'm going down,
for,
mate.
you're
Yeah, I'll
getting
go
there
down
for
for
an
an
infrared
infrared.
sauna, absolutely.
we go.
They got a
It's
cold
owned
plunge?
by someone heavily connected at Fremantle.
Who?
Well, you don't see him at the
Oh,
dinners.
now someone's interested.
You don't see him at the Sundowner every month.
Now someone's keen.
No, I think I already know.
Who?
Phil Merriman.
Filthy.
See.
Is it?
Yes, Phil's got him. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Phil would have been
I know
the
the
man
family.
who
We,
was-
our kids are at
They
school
must
together.
say must be around the corner from you. Yeah.
Jeez. Everyone's getting free stuff.
There you go. So someone now is envious.
What? No, I just want
Really
you to be
fold his paper up really
No,
sharp.
I just want you to be honest.
Supporting a mate's business.
I just want you to be honest with people. So
True.
when you're getting stuff
True.
for free, just say it. Aren't you supposed to do that down
No.
there? Sponsored post or
No.
whatever it is?
Well, technically at some stage, but no.
Is it?
All right, let's get in. Glad we cleared that up.
All right, start with you, Rhino, in the middle. Mix it up.
No, that's going to throw him off.
Oh, Rynne, you
mate,
start.
I mean-
He's only
you
on
start.
step five.
You start and go clockwise.
He's only step 5. This is going to be a shit show.
You start and go clockwise.
All right.
All right, well, we'll start
this
with
could go
one
anywhere.
which we are tracking. There's a statistic we've been tracking very closely throughout the season.
Yeah.
And that's Xavier Ellis's percentage faith in Hawthorn.
yes.
Has it taken a bump?
Oh,
We were
yes.
down to, what were we down to, like 3.5?
No, he got down to 3%.
Yeah, where are
That
we
was
now?
on Friday, but they had a
It
win.
feels like a year ago.
Because you didn't turn up last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, look, the percentage would have to be 17.7.
Okay, so that's
Okay.
a
It's a bump. They were impressive.
We're on the
They were
rise.
impressive. 17.7. Mostly the confidence I've got from Dylan Moore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah,
where
yeah,
my
it was good.
confidence
Yeah.
comes from. He's back. He's the best in the league at that half forward role
Yep.
where you work your ass off. He's back.
Yep.
And that has just given me a little 15% bump or 14% bump.
What else have you got, Nick?
Well, I was just going to say the other second point I've got on Hawthorn is someone who's sort of a official enemy of the pod, trying to backstab us in the background and members of
shit.
our podcast community. Nathan Brown
Oh.
said Josh Weddle could or was on track to be a top 10 player in the competition.
No, I think Kane
Which-
Corns has come out and said he could be the best
he's
player in the
backed
competition.
him in as well.
I don't know about
Jesus.
that.
Well, I thought that was
He is
worth a
so
discussion.
athletic.
He's a freak.
Yes.
But the best player in the comp usually has to be someone who has elite skills as well.
Yeah, no.
I don't think he has that.
Well,
So what's
no,
his
that's
long-term
all right.
role?
He's
You don't need
five,
at least-
five.
Yeah.
Dangerfield.
You just
Yeah,
need
but that's a different era.
You need a few weapons.
That was a different era, I reckon. When
Who's the
Fife
best player in the comp?
When
Cripps?
Fife was the best player in
Cripps
the
won the
comp.
Brownlow last year.
Does that mean he's the best player in the comp?
We won the
Did you-
Brownlow.
Who do you think is the best player in the
but
comp?
you didn't think he was the best player in the comp last
Well,
year.
are we talking about Marcus Bontempelli?
Marcus
Well, I'm gonna get to
Bontempelli,
Bont.
He's got everything.
Nick Dacos, they're the two best players in the game and they're skillful.
Nick Dacos, is he elite
I don't-
skills?
I
Yeah,
don't know how I've got
No,
myself-
he's elite in gym,
No,
but like
I don't
by
know-
foot.
Look, I don't know how I've got myself in an argument saying that Josh Weddle's not good because I do love Josh
Because now
Weddle.
he's
No, I
saying-
think-
But you're
look-
saying he could be the best player in the game.
No.
I don't think
Josh
that's the
Weddle,
case.
like that goal on the weekend where he ran, carried it, no one's going to catch him. If he can do that
yeah.
6 times a game off half back, he's at every chance of being an All-Australian.
Is he just a-
Yeah, but
continuously.
is that where he plays long term?
Do you know what he is? He's buff Nick Blakey.
Yeah, he's big, like a bit bigger.
Less headless.
Oh, it's
There's
pretty
a
headless.
fair bit of
No,
headless.
he's headless, but less
There's a
headless.
fair bit of headless in there.
Blakey can just headless and
Nick's
shank it.
Nick's a
these
10
days.
more
headless.
shoulders.
I reckon he's a 9 headless.
Eight and a half,
Maybe an
eight
8.
and a half.
Yeah, he's getting close.
All right. Hey, where's my
now
carton
we're
of
going to
piss?
Zave.
It's downstairs. So there's a story about the carton of piss. So I texted you last night and I said cans or stubbies.
Yeah.
And he said cans, please. He's very polite
Yeah,
about
cans
it.
are nice.
This is about the West Coast North Melbourne game. you are lucky.
Geez, I pocketed like 7 boxes of beer out of that.
There's no way you deserve that beer. That was the worst game of football ever.
Let me
West
check the
Coast
score.
was 0 goals, 9.
Yep.
Disgraceful.
They're the 18th team on the ladder. What did you expect from a bottom team?
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so I go to my local bottle-o and I go into the fridge, and I say, I can't see single fin cans. I can only see the stubbies. I'm like, I'm not doing the stubbies because have you seen? You're a Seinfeld watcher, you guys?
Never watched an episode
I've
in my
dabbled.
life.
I'm not like a
Banyan
hardcore.
when he gives him a free suit and then he has to give him dinner, but then he keeps going to dinner. Yeah, Josh is watching, and he only orders soup. So then afterwards he's like, no, that's not dinner. That doesn't count. And then they go out again and he has a sandwich. He's like, that's not dinner.
Oh, so you're saying if you bring me stubbies, I'll say they won't
You
count.
say
That wasn't what I asked for.
Yeah,
So I
that's
go
probably
in
fair.
there, there's no cans. And I go to the lady, I said, look, you got any single fin cans?
The pain in the ass wants cans.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, we do. So she goes in, actually, we're sold out. But they have all the 6-packs.
Right.
I was like, can I make a carton out of
said,
the
that's not a
6?
carton.
And I said, can I just let you know, this isn't about me. It's my mate who's annoying. And if I don't give, this is a bet, and if I don't give him exactly what he wants, she goes, no, I get it. We have this
So
all the
I
time.
actually,
We deal with this every week.
I want the box though.
No, you've got a
that's not
Stella.
what I asked for.
You've got a
It's not
Stella
in a
box.
carton.
That's not what I asked for.
I'm not.
That's not a deal.
not doing it.
Everyone who I made the bet with has given me single fin cans.
I went to great lengths to get you 24 cans of
Yeah.
single fin.
Yeah.
I made 4 6-packs into a carton,
That's not what I asked for.
taped up the carton.
That's not what I asked for.
You're a dickhead. Anyway,
That's 2 to me.
Might have to reset the 2 minutes for Collingwood. Okay, so that felt like the loss they needed to have, but they didn't have it. They just didn't lose, right? Now,
Wait, who are we talking about?
Collingwood.
Okay.
Now, so they just move on. They had a 52-point loss in opening round to GWS.
They did get
Do you remember
smashed,
that?
yeah.
What an eternity ago that feels like.
Pendlebury fumbled and fell over 30 times in that game.
How many
They're like,
games-
oh, the old boy's done.
How many games do you reckon they've lost since then?
1.
1. And by how much? You remember?
It was a shot after the siren, crisp, and he missed.
Yeah, that was by 3
that's
points. That was by 3 points. So he kicks that.
Good
and
memory by me.
Yeah, very good. They've had, and I think the perception is they win all these close games, and
Nah,
they do.
the year previously,
Yeah.
or the year before was that
They've
trend.
been okay in the close games this year, but they've also had 5 wins by 40 plus.
Yeah.
So they are putting the foot down a little bit. The guy I want to talk about is Pendlebury, 20th season, 37 years old. I tracked back to his career because I was like, has he ever had anything significant injury-wise? His lowest games total was 9. That was from his debut season. That's because he
Just
didn't-
wasn't playing.
He didn't play till round 10.
Yeah.
So since he's come in that round 10 of his first year, he has been incredibly durable. Of his 20 seasons, don't count this year because this year's not done yet. So it's 19 seasons. 15 of them he's played 20 or more games. And one of those was the COVID year that he had under. So, so it's 15 out of 18.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're all like 18 games.
No,
16 games.
he's incredible. Yesterday,
The durability is insane.
Because he does that stretching in that shed.
No, this is a real
On
perspective
TikTok.
for us. He was picked 2 picks after him in the draft.
Yeah.
He's been retired forever.
no, I played with him. My teammate.
I can't even remember
Gibbs
that your
said.
last. What was that? 6 years ago?
No,
When did you
longer than
retire?
that. 9 years
8?
ago.
No, this is insane.
Yeah, but
8 years
Pendle's
ago.
not just running marathons on a lazy Saturday morning.
Mark
you know.
Murphy was pick 1, Dale Thomas pick 2, Zave, then JK, then Pendles. These guys are in retirement homes, and he's still getting 28 touches on the
yesterday
MCG.
too. Do you know what the best thing for Pendles is Nick Dacos. Because Nick Dacos copped Langdon all day,
Yep.
and that's what every club should do.
So
And
you're gonna say Nick
I'm a
Dacos
fan of
copped
that.
Langdon.
Yep.
I had 5 disposals at half time, or 6 or whatever it was
Yeah.
at half time.
Yep.
Pendles though just cruised around like
Yeah.
at every stoppage.
This is the easiest he's ever had it.
They didn't help Dacos enough. I didn't think yesterday to be
No.
fair to Nick Dacos,
No.
but Pendles and them just cruised along.
He's going to play again next year.
Of course he will. And
He
so
has to.
Sidebottom, he was just
Have
as
to.
good. All right, Carlton.
Here we go.
Has Paddy Cripps, I was going to use the word fallen off the cliff, but he's certainly reached the summit and he's starting to come down the other side.
Yeah.
Is that a fair comment?
Well,
Yeah, how
5
old is
minutes
he?
ago, you said he was the best player in the AFL last year.
Well, so last year he had over 30 disposals 11 times with multiple 40 disposal games in there. So virtually every second game he's got over 30
Yep.
with 40s in there, average 29 disposals. This year, in his 12 games, however many it is, he's gone over once, and that was
Wow.
round 1. 32 disposals
Wow.
round 1, averaging 23 disposals, only had 15 on the weekend. It's just a different version of Paddy Cripps, I think, this year, and that might be the time that he just starts to slowly descend
it's possible.
from the heights.
I always find those really big dudes, like him and Fife have been so similar, right? Their body size, the
Yeah.
way they play. And Fife's body just at some point went,
Collapsed.
no more. And it just...
But Paddy Cripps doesn't look like it's no more.
No, he hasn't had the injuries yet. But you do wonder if it's all starting to catch up.
Yeah, it's a 6 disposal difference this year from last year.
It's funny because that's what we argued they needed to do is rely less on Paddy Cripps. But then it turns out now Paddy Cripps is doing less and they're even worse.
I was gonna say,
but
turns out
no
if you
one's
don't
stepping into
rely
the
on
gap.
Paddy Cripps, you're just not very good.
They won on the weekend, so you tip your hat there. That was an okay game.
No. You know what's about to happen. They're going to win
Oh,
again.
yeah. They've got a good
West
run.
Coast, then they're going to win again, and then everyone's going to get excited,
Yeah.
and they're going to finish like 9th or 10th,
Yeah.
and then they run it back.
And so then the other thing from that game was Chera. And I heard Gary Lyon last night. And he was really strong about the brain injuries. How quickly do we get a player off with a low-level hamstring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How quickly are they assessed?
Yep.
Immediately.
Yep.
Like
Straight away.
dead set immediately. When you see someone grab their hamstring from the interchange,
But you know why?
you see 6 blokes get a stiffy,
Yeah.
jump up and run
No,
out.
But do you know why? Because they can't run anymore, and it's about winning games. So Chera can still move around with this head.
But how did it take so long to get him off the
I know,
ground?
but that's why. Because all they care about is the next stoppage.
But isn't there
the
meant to be a
next
third
play.
umpire making that call these days?
There is the ARC makes the call now, but it
Yeah,
takes
what are
time, right? The ARC goes
That
to
didn't
go,
take time.
"Oh, hold
That
on a
should have
minute.
taken time.
Let's communicate. Boom. But then how does
Yeah.
he come back
I
on?
could have, where I used to live in East Melbourne, seen it on TV, swipe my MCC membership, jump the fence,
Dropping it.
run over,
Christ,
grab Chera, run him to the interchange, and half the time it took them to jog out and ask him to
So
come
just
off.
so we're clear, he's dropped the East Melbourne location. Very nice.
go to the
Dropped the
MCC.
MCC. There.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
scan
Well, that was
him
the only
out.
way I was going to get in.
Wow, yeah. That's-
Well, I didn't have a ticket.
Yeah,
That's the
media
only ticket
pass,
I've got.
mate?
Must be nice.
Oh, okay. So I've come from Glen Waverley. I've caught the train in. I've then
your
swiped
media
my
pass.
media pass, and then I've walked onto the field, and I've still got time to get Chera off
You
the
probably
ground.
still did.
No,
All
I
right.
thought that was shit.
Who's next, Nick?
All right, let's go to Adelaide. Does that count as a scalp? So Brisbane kind of kicked
Yeah.
themselves out of it late, but obviously they were good enough, Adelaide, to hold up all those terrible entries that Brisbane were popping into the very middle of the square.
Do you know what? It's nice to see Adelaide get the rub of the green every now and then. Because
Yeah, they've had a rough run. They have had a rough
And that
run.
was
They
it.
never do.
I loved that after the game. It was pretty much everyone they spoke to. They're like, "Oh, did you get lucky?" It's like, "Yeah, but we were due." Right? It was like 9 times we've been unlucky. We got
Yeah,
one.
no,
It's fine.
that's a scalp. Yeah, Brisbane and Chris Fagan's such a level-headed guy.
Yeah.
And him to come out and say we should have won that game.
Well, they should have won
But
that
he
game.
rarely would. He wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
If it was a slightly like 75-25, we should have won that game. I reckon he doesn't say anything. But I think it was
Yeah.
99 to
yes.
1,
There
and
was a-
Fags was like, "Yeah, we should have won that."
There
game.
was a bit of that on the weekend.
It was a shit round of footy.
Shit
Yeah,
round of
it
footy.
was horrible.
The weather didn't help, and the only game that had good weather was the two bottom teams.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't good.
And they were the worst.
Yeah,
And that was the worst game. I'm in on Adelaide now. I told
Oh,
you
yeah,
at the start,
welcome.
'cause at the start of the year, my whole thing was just show me.
Yeah.
You got to show me. Same as Freo. I feel like now 13 rounds in, what do they got? Was that 9 wins? No, yeah, 9 wins. That's 9 wins.
Probably something close. hang
Yeah,
on.
I think they've shown enough.
Well,
They're a top 6
Yeah, 9
team.
wins.
What about this game?
See
They
where it
top
lays
14.
out, but they're a top. No, they're third now. But I think no matter what
got a
happens
tough
here,
one this week. Who have they got this week? Hawthorn in Tassie.
And they got the best percentage in the league.
yeah, I think they're going to be a top 6 team. I'd lock that in.
The other one I want to note is Josh Rochelle. So he hasn't had the headlines this season that he's had previous seasons, but I think he's taken like a sneaky leap here.
No,
So he's going at
huge leap.
2.3 goals a game, 1.4 assists, 6.6 score involvements, which all related to
He's
elite
easily a
for the
top
position.
10 best and fairest. It took
Yeah, but
20
it's funny, but he's getting less attention than he was when he was just okay.
because he's less doing stupid things when
Yeah.
they're 10 goals down and carrying on like a pork chop. He's
True.
playing really good
He's
footy.
just playing football.
He took 20 seconds off his time trial and he looks fitter and he looks happier and he's a bloody good
He's
footballer.
taking calculated risks like the outside of the boot. So just quickly there, Smalls, Coleman, Elliott's leading on 38. 38. Higgins on 29, Ben Long 24, and then Rochelle 23.
This
So
is just the small.
just the
Smalls.
Smalls.
Okay. Geelong. Tom Stewart's got a little bit of life back.
Nah, last week, yes. The week before, no.
Yeah, but the rest maybe helped. Maybe he's building. He's
He
building.
was good against Suns. He was no good against West
All
Coast.
Australian.
I can't understand how teams let Brian Myers get 21 kicks. That guy, I still think he's underrated. I love Brian Myers. He, like, you know how much I love Errol Goulden. I reckon Brian Myers might be in my top 3 players I love to watch.
Brian Myers is that half forward. He sits in with Dylan Moore and those guys.
Yeah, but he also spends
But
a lot of time in the middle.
But it's
too.
also like Max Holmes, who you go,
Yeah.
Holmes, he's pretty good. But then when it comes to it, he's probably just as good as every other midfielder running around in those positions.
Yeah.
Like, with some reason for Geelong, who we rate so highly and have rated so highly for 20 years, I think we underrate this crop.
I think we do because we.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Well, I certainly do because I said they can't make the
because we
finals.
put Cameron and Dangerfield and Bailey Smith on this pedestal, and we have for Tom Stewart for years. So everybody else has just been a guy. But I feel like Myers, Holmes, they're guys now. Like Myers is, I don't know, it's that weird kicking style.
It's the horrible kicking style, and he used to have. Does he still have the dreads?
No, he got rid of
the
the
dreads.
Did not have stray ones.
He's shorter
Nah.
now.
He had the dreads.
But
I knew he had aggressive dreads. I thought he kept a stray.
Anytime he has it, I feel like something's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, same with Errol, where you're like, he's going to do something with his
he'll
kid.
do something.
He's going to do something great. I just love watching him. What did you guys make of the Bailey Smith
I
fireside
was
meeting?
about to
what the
bring
hell?
that up.
Leave him alone.
What? Andrew Dillon driving out there?
No, just leave Bailey alone to do whatever
No,
he
I
wants.
disagree.
Hey,
disagree.
Are you going to rein him in?
You can't be talking about getting on the bags and stuff.
No, you.
on social
everyone
media.
knows he
You
gets on the
can't do
bags.
that. But that's his brand too, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Like-
you can't be writing that.
No, you can't be, but he's gonna. That's his thing.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
He's a bad
just
boy.
But just because my thing is
He's a cheeky
punching
boy.
people doesn't mean I just keep walking around punching people. Like eventually, work says, "Hey, stop punching people."
Well,
You won't be able to go to work after
If he
9 or
steps
whatever.
past a certain point, then there's gonna be issues.
well, that has to be past the point. Why is the CEO in his house?
Yeah, Did you see him? Did you see him in the black hood and the jacket?
Yeah.
Far out.
What
He's-
about the man with the cat too? He's got this little thing. With
Yeah, mate. This guy is on another level.
He really
Oh,
is. We haven't seen anything
He's
like
in
him
a different
before.
stratosphere right now in terms of everything that's going on.
Now I'm going to go early on the side here. The Gold Coast Suns. So they've gone 5 goals, 9 goals, 12
no.
goals. Play
no.
play the Giants away
Oh,
this
no.
week.
No.
Send them.
No.
Send them.
No.
I've got nothing to do with the Gold Coast. Bomb them, blow them, send them,
I
cut
thought you were
them.
going to say they're going to drop out.
No, move on. We can't talk
Okay, we
about
can't
it.
talk
Go.
about- Oh, well, let's do something that's been in your wheelhouse this week, Rhino. So you've gone with on the tweets,
Oh,
very heavy,
yes.
and then you had an exclusive much later about the same topic. But if you're West Coast Eagles, we do West Coast Eagles, and I really don't want to talk about the game
Yeah.
because
Sure.
everyone involved wants to forget that ever
Awful.
happened.
Just awful.
Most people have reached out to pay the cartons. If you haven't, I've got the receipts. So
Where do they do it?
What
They,
did you
they
end up
send
with?
you a
7
voucher.
cartons?
I think about 7. Yeah.
Does that send you a voucher, or do they drop them somewhere?
Voucher.
Okay. Not just as Southern Cross officers.
No, voucher.
So what's your order if you have to go after? So you reported that there's some interest in Angus Sheldrick and Neil Erasmus.
Neil Erasmus, Angus Sheldrick, Will Phillips. There's still some interest in Dev Robertson.
What about Flanders from the Gold Coast? Who's a class
but-
above all of them.
So, but there's a cost above all of them too. So
but-
I think that those guys that I just mentioned are all in the space where they're not super expensive in terms of trade collateral, but they
They need
a certain
opportunity,
age
yeah.
group and a certain role that you could put him in and play as midfielders that can
But I
get in
reckon
there.
Flanders can at least do that.
Yeah,
just
but
think
Flanders is best
gonna cost
22.
more.
Yeah, but surely at Mineral Resource Arena or whatever, they walk in and stub their toe on money because
But
surely no one's getting paid
It's not
there.
about the money. It's the picks that you don't want to trade. That you keep saying, don't trade these first round picks. It's going to
Yeah,
cost
yeah.
to get
For Flanders?
For
Well,
Flanders.
Gold Coast
He's
not going
20
to just give him up.
He's best 22.
I reckon there might be some bombshells coming towards Gold Coast too, by the way.
You reckon? Oh, what's going on? Bit of a drop. So what's your order?
So
give me a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Do you want my
Sheldrick-
order or do you want
Yeah.
their order?
Give me your order. Sheldrick, Erasmus, Phillips, Robertson.
My order would be Sheldrick number 1.
Yeah,
I
I
really
agree.
like Angus Sheldrick. I still think there's
I don't
something.
know if he fixes the problem. He's an inside midfielder, the handball.
Yeah,
needs the
but have you
handball more.
seen like his numbers the last few weeks? He is starting to get a little bit more on the outside because I know they've said that to him. They've said you need to work on this, and he's going, okay, I'll go work
But
on.
he's
it.
also been
But
told
they
to-
can just sort of bring him in
Put
at
it
a
this
good
way.
place,
Put
and
it-
then they
no.
get the outside
Can
people
I
at
just,
the high draft.
Can I
picks.
clarify for them? Don't worry about my list or Zave's list. For them, it's Erasmus.
Really?
And then there's a bit of daylight. Then it's your Sheldrick, Phillips goes. They really want Neil Erasmus.
Is that because
And-
he was in the NGA Academy and they just forgot?
Yeah, but there's a bit of there's an ongoing story to that yes, there's a paperwork stuff up that they didn't do it. But they wouldn't have got him anyway because by that point they'd changed the NGA rules and he went pick
He
10.
would have been
So they
over
would have
40.
missed out on him regardless. Can
He
we
was in the
extend,
Mac
Josh?
Andrew window.
Can we extend a little bit? Fremantle really want to keep Neil Erasmus and they're going to put, I think it's going to be a 3-year offer and it's going to be a good one. So I think they...
What's a good one these days?
Oh,
6?
Well, for him, he's probably thinking, I'm only going to get in that 350, 400 range.
Yeah.
I think you'll get more than that. I think you'll get upwards 5, 6s maybe. But with
That hurts
but-
my soul.
Yeah, but,
Mate, the money's so different these days.
But a lot of it is tied in with you've got to do this to get it.
Win the
there's so many more of those things tied into it. The interesting piece will be for him is because right now he's playing.
And
right?
playing pretty well.
For a couple of weeks.
Yeah, because Hayden Young's out and
Yeah,
Jager hasn't come back and Fife was the sub. But those guys are all
Will
going
Sonny play?
I think Sonny has a role maybe as the sub.
So, well, there's another spot that needs to be
Correct.
altered.
So he's all things are good now, and Ferrer's like, hey, stay, sign this. But if you're Neil Erasmus, you don't. What happened to Dev Robertson? Remember that?
Yeah, he didn't
He
take
was
the deal. and now
about
he's
to
on
come
the
to
outer.
West Coast.
Which I thought at the time was still extraordinary that they were chasing him.
Would have
like.
played every week, though, because of just where
It
they're
wouldn't
at.
have made any difference.
No, but he would have been playing, not in the VFL. He's barely played for Brisbane since signing that deal. His career has just been sitting on hold for 2 years. So if you're an Erasmus or a Sheldrick, take a breath and look at Dev and go, hold on a minute. Do I want to be playing in the twos? They're saying all the right things. They want to keep me, but then what? So if I'm them, I'm going for opportunity. We'll do the Sheldrick stuff in Sydney. I've got another layer on that.
Yeah, but I'd be going out of that group. Sheldrick would be.
I
top
love
of my
Angus
order.
Sheldrick. I'm a bit.
I don't think any of them make any difference.
Okay. He's your miserable bastard.
No, I'm being serious. Well, they all played.
It's just a wait.
They make no difference to West Coast situation.
It's a numbers game for West Coast.
Okay, GWS, they are 3-5 in their last 8. They are just stuttering along, and it doesn't get any easier. They've got Brisbane at the Gabba.
Yeah.
Next up.
Jeez.
Then they've got the Expansion Cup that is in Sydney or NG. West Coast here, Geelong, that's tough.
Sydney,
Essendon, and then Sydney. So I've given them 2
The
weeks.
Giants got Geelong in that run already.
Yeah.
They played them like 2 weeks ago.
So I've given them West Coast and Essendon as wins. The others are, I mean, Brisbane, you can't see them winning that. Geelong, you can't see them winning that.
Well, they did beat them 2 weeks ago in Geelong.
Yeah, but that was things feel like
Oh, that
they've
was
shifted
unusual. Yeah, that was
dramatically
unusual.
already. I went through their list and I did sort of your things, Abe, where I was like, right, the A's and the B's, and I've put them in all one group. So I've put these players who played on the weekend in A's and B's: Tom Green, Lockie Whitfield, Lockie Ash, Sam Taylor, Buckley, Kelly, Hogan, Toby Green, and Brent Daniels. They're A's or B's. They're A's or B's. No, they're A's or B's.
A's or B's.
Oh, okay.
A's or
Yeah.
B's.
Then there's the rest.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, that was only 9 players.
Yeah.
The rest is Riccardi, Madden, Fonte, Himmelberg, Cal Brown, Connor Iden, Xavier Halloran, Harvey Thomas, Lecalier, Darcy Jones, Ware, Bedford, Cadman, McMuffin. Like, there's just
If
a
they're
lot.
if they're in or not, you don't really
There's
know
a
week to
lot-
week, do
there's
you?
a
Oh,
lot-
no, Darcy Jones, I think, would be the top point.
Yeah, look, Jones, Himmelberg, and probably
They're going to play every
Iden.
week, but when was the last time
Like, you could talk me into those guys being Bs,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think we look at the Giants logo
Yeah.
on the fixture and go, star-studded,
Yeah.
stars everywhere.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. Like they've got so many guys who are just still either figuring it out and may not get there.
When was the last time you looked at a game Himmelberg played in and went,
Correct.
we got Hingerberg,
And I know that
Himmelberg.
And I know
What did
sometimes-
JB even call him last week? He referred to him in play like Himmelbush or something and just kept going.
And
Like,
I know,
just-
I know that sometimes it's role based, so they're not getting the big moments that they normally would get. So you think they're not playing well, but they're actually doing something. Either way, geez,
I reckon you could lose 4 of them and replace them with Bs and you've got a really good team.
just as an aside, Nick Madden, talk about
Yeah.
if we're building a handsome team. He's the
You
ruckman.
reckon he's not a bad looker?
Nick, did you see him?
I watched the game at the pub.
So you didn't
Get a close up.
he didn't miss. Have a look at him though. Big,
Okay.
tall, strapping young man.
All right, Brisbane Lions last year's premiers. How many games had Collingwood won by over 40, did you say?
5.
5 over 40. Brisbane have won 9 games this season. How many over 35 for the Saints?
I'm
I
gonna-
randomly picked a number.
I'm going to gamble and say 1.
Oh, 3?
1.
Yes.
Against St Kilda, they won by 45.
But
So
this
it wasn't even a massive blowout. 45 is their biggest winning margin.
So this comes
Nine-
back to
so
our
8
theory
wins
that
un-
they're not actually going that
No,
well.
they're just scraping away. And another win
Jeez.
on the weekend in Adelaide would have been another one that they're just fallen over. And they should have fallen over
Mm.
that win. Just even like Lockie Neal, for example, he's only polled 5 times in the Coaches Association this year. Like, we are so used to him being in there every week, a lot of the time 10s.
How many
and then
wins? 9.
9.
How many Brownlow votes do you reckon he's got?
Oh, you have to be on 9.
The max would be 27.
I reckon he'd be on 9 or something this year.
Nah, he'd be on minimum 15.
No, he won't. He hasn't had a good year.
Mate,
Yeah, like Hugh
doesn't matter.
I'm
Hugh
telling
McCluggage,
you.
no, I don't think he will be. I actually don't think. I think this
You know,
year's the year.
Will Phillips-
I've watched
No,
him
not
every
Will
week. He hasn't had a good year. For
Will,
Lockie
Will
Neal.
Ashcroft will bowl.
I agree with
Will
you.
Ashcroft.
Quick blonde hair. Perfect recipe for
Yeah,
bowl.
but even like Hugh McCluggage as being a bit of a goat at the moment.
Yeah.
There's bigger games from your man.
Plus, the 2 Ashcrofts kind of look the same.
Yeah, so you could get. He had like 40 touches.
Yeah, exactly. So Will's just getting all these
Yeah.
votes.
It was just
well-
in congestion. It was blonde hair.
Like Will was outstanding on the weekend, and as we said, a boring round of football. So 68 to 63 is the final margin there. I was watching the TV at 3/4 time, and the next thing I woke up at midnight.
Yeah, I reckon it was worse than
felt as-
boring.
yeah,
I
I
reckon it was
felt-
insulting.
I fell asleep during that one, and I was just like 3/4 time, which over here in Perth, 7:30.
Pretty young. Yeah. Young
7:30,
in the-
done. Woke up at midnight. No idea what was going on. No idea who'd won the footy. assumed Brisbane had won the footy. Then I saw his Jordan Dawson highlight. I thought,
And you were still at the pub.
No, I've just been knackered at the moment. Ashcroft was on fire early in that game.
Yeah.
Fizzled out. There's just not much of a story this weekend.
Yeah, but I still feel like if you get to the finals, you don't want to play Brisbane.
No, you don't want to play Brisbane, but another game where
they're
they're
going to get enough wins to get to that good spot.
Clearly, yeah.
We come back to me. So, just before we get into the Dockers, as a proud major sponsor of the Fremantle Football Club, Woodside has accepted the challenge of supporting local footy at all levels, from grassroots to greatness, so it can thrive throughout WA. Woodside, Australia's leading energy company. So the Dockers had a bye, and then somehow they were the winners of the round. Yeah, they come out of it a game clear in the 8.
And also, I can't imagine if it was a round of football where scoring and those slow, messy games, that wasn't going to be a round that Fremantle were going to put themselves up on a pedestal.
They won the last 2 in the wet, so maybe they're a wet team now.
No, their last 2 weeks they've become the fastest team in the comp.
So you had the Dogs lost, the Bombers lost, the Giants lost. All the teams around them lost.
Well, that's it. So even they've got a game in hand over GWS and Hawthorn, who are the next 2 above them on the ladder.
They've got an easy month, though, Freo coming.
And they've got an easy month coming, which is perfectly poised for them to it up.
See how he said easy month twice?
Yeah, I know. He's trying to
No. I wrote it.
He's trying.
I think there's like 13th.
Easy month. Can't lose.
I think there's like 13th, 18th, 16th and 15th or something like that.
Yeah, it is a good month for them. Yeah. It's a really good month for them.
It's a good month. So what do they got? North, away at home at Optus. They're away at Optus.
But they're at home, yeah.
And then the Essendon after that?
Thursday night.
Yeah, Thursday night
Sydney
game.
are in there as well in the next bit, and one other that's no good.
Sydney, though, we'll get to Sydney in a minute. There's the front end of Sydney. No, we'll do that in a minute. What else you want to talk about?
That was kind of it. I just realised I reckon Erasmus stuff again.
I'll give you one. I'm going to watch over the next 4 weeks. I know they say we talk about it so much. I'm going to watch the balance of Jackson v Darcy.
I was trying to get through.
No. The next 4 weeks is a good testing time too, because Sherry's rucking this week.
So you play Darcy.
So you want Darcy?
Sherry.
Well, I wouldn't.
Or do you?
But they will.
Yeah.
You just to see what that game time does. Because 50% week 1, does it sit around 50%? Like, what is the cutoff between it's worth the experiment? Because I don't want Darcy playing 70%.
I would wonder right now where Sean Darcy's head's at. I'd be, if I were him, because we'll talk about Jackson and making him happy and keeping him, I would be asking, with Sean Darcy, how's he reading this situation? Because he's had all these injuries. Everyone's talking about Jacko being this amazing ruckman, and Darcy's playing 50% game time. Like, he might be used some weeks, he might not be. How is he going? Because he only late last year he committed.
So they've got Grundy, Marshall, and Sherry in the next 4 weeks. So 3 of the next 4, they've got those ruckmen.
Yeah.
With a little bit of Goldstein magic in there. So there's a big ruckman. Anyway.
They like to throw him up against a big ruckman.
It'll be interesting. Is this me?
Yeah.
Let's do Sydney now then. So they got the bye, and then they get Errol back, and they get Tom Papley back. Now, I thought about finals for them.
Bintang.
So let's just clarify where they're at. They're 13th. They're 5-8. Their percentage is awful. And the 5 teams just ahead of them all have a game in hand. So I think the finals you can forget about. Their next 6 is Port, Bulldogs, Freo, St Kilda, North, GWS.
They'll probably win 4 out of 6. They'll win enough, but they've got to win them all.
So so ignore that. But I don't reckon you want to, Sydney's back half is going to be better than their front
They
half.
might take some scalps.
Mills is back. He looked pretty good on the weekend.
Do you know what I loved about Mills? Did you watch that game?
I did.
Before the centre bounce, what was he doing? Fighting.
Oh, the first one.
He fought the forwards, he fought the wingmen, he gave the speech before the game.
Yeah.
We said it last week, he's their barometer with that sort of stuff.
He looked hard and he was skillful
Played
too.
well.
Forget how good he is because he hasn't played enough. But they're going to annoy teams. So that's what I was saying about the Freo thing, right? I reckon in the front half of the year, Sydney were gettable, they were weak, they were playing like a rabble. And then now they're going to be better. And so you don't want to come up against Sydney in this back half. They're going to ruin some seasons.
They will.
They won't play finals, I don't think, but they'll Freo,
they'll shape
Bulldogs, they could shape them. That's a good one. Just on Sheldrick. So, as I said, it's Erasmus for West Coast, Daylight. Sheldrick's in that next group of players.
Why.
But there are other teams that are super interested in him. Watch the Matt Rao situation. Now, don't laugh, because I'm not saying that Matt Rao is as good as Sheldrick. But
Wait, you're saying Andrew Sheldrick's better?
let's just say like a Collingwood or a Geelong miss out on a Matt Rao because they're all chips in on Matt Rao and they think they're a good chance.
Did we say last week in our little guessing game where
That we
thought
think
Matt
Rao's
was
gonna
going?
stay?
I thought we said staying.
No, I thought you
must
said
have
stay.
Oh, I'm
You changing it?
yeah.
Well, so if those teams were to miss
Strong
out, then they
Geelong
go, right,
connections over there.
that's the next level down
Yeah.
of can we get another inside mid? We need an
A
inside
couple of
mid.
levels down.
Couple of levels down. But that's the space. So there's a domino to fall, and Matt
Yeah.
Rao's the first one. If he signs with Gold Coast, everything shifts for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If he says if he doesn't sign, then it shifts again, and that would change the world for Flanders too, right?
I was about to say that.
So everything shifts, but yeah, it's an interesting space. I know these guys are low end on the totem pole in terms of interest, but
Yeah.
to me, those guys are fascinating because there's that opportunity space. Can they be something more? Look at Ned Long.
Ned Long. Do you know why? Well-educated young man from Melbourne.
Did he also live in East Melbourne with his
probably
little
lives in
He would
MCC
definitely been in
the mean
MCC
streets.
pass, just
Yeah.
scanning in?
Really done it tough on the way up.
Righto, talking to my two Dero mates. Cozzy Pickett, again, All-Australian. So Melbourne clear, obviously. Cozzy Pickett, unbelievable.
You think so? Well, I know you. There's an agenda to
He
run
was
here.
unbelievable yesterday.
Yeah, but how many smalls can you fit into an All-Australian team?
Well, Cozzy's one.
Him and Jamie Elliott.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's going. That's the problem. He's going up against a Collingwood player.
They could put 3 in.
No, they'll both get in.
They'll all get
This
in.
might be the year where they actually name small forwards.
Yeah, maybe or and a half forwards. Yeah,
But let's talk about the Stephen May, who I think's
Ooh,
had
yeah.
more. I've never been in a fight in my life. He's had 3 with his opponent, with his teammates. The Gorn, Steve May, it stood out like dog's balls on the siren.
Yeah. So Gorn's come out this morning and said Stephen May, he's just passionate. He wants
Yeah.
us to improve. He didn't like
passionate?
Gorn
Is that a
didn't
word?
like his own reaction. He said, I shouldn't have reacted that
Yeah.
way. I think if we're on the outside here and you're sniffing the good bloke, shit bloke, I think we all think that Max Gorn's a good bloke,
Well,
don't we?
not
Yeah.
many polled in to defend Steve
no.
May in the
Well,
older
I don't
case,
think
no.
Stephen May's ever going to say, "Oh, I probably should have reacted better in that situation." I'm not sure he's that self-aware.
Who was the guy? Was it Disco Turner?
I think Disco was in the middle.
Just trying to know.
Did you see his face? He was like, hey, whoa, whoa.
Because then Steve May came back and Disco put the arm out again. Disco thought it was done. But no, Disco put it back up.
Disco's like, which one of these blokes is bigger and stronger?
Disco's been talking
I
to Jack
think it's
Melcham.
Max, but I'm not sure.
In fairness to both players, both played really well yesterday.
Yeah, I felt for Gorn that kick because
Well, the worst kick he did, that was a horror. But the worst one was in the middle of the ground where he
Yeah.
tried to go inboard and kicked it to 6
know.
Collingwood players. Maxie, you are a mega star.
yeah,
Just don't kick or kick long.
yeah.
Give the hands.
Yeah.
No craft
You're
through
not,
the
you're not Dean Cox.
no craft through the corridor.
when we're talking about those two as the 1 and 2 rucks, however you put it,
They're different.
you'd rather Coxie taking that kick.
Maxie, it's like Trent Crowe used to take great pride in marking it
and giving it off.
and handballing it to his mate,
Yeah.
or kicking as long as he could and pointing. That's where it's going. Maxie, no more corridor
No
football.
craft.
But yesterday, really quickly, didn't he show the difference between? And Darcy Cameron's been awesome this year.
Yeah.
But there was a golfing difference there
it's
between
Max.
and Darcy Cameron's probably third banana.
Yeah, Max is. Yeah, he doesn't age.
So we can all agree it was Max's fault.
That they lost.
yeah, absolutely. St Kilda. There was a bit of talk last night around Nazaya Wanganeen Millera.
Yes.
Nazaya?
Nazaya?
I think it's
No,
Nazaya, NWM.
Yep.
Bit of talk about the
Nas,
NWM.
just say Nas.
Naz.
Yeah, no, are you talking about the agenda?
So the agenda setters with Carolyn Wilson said that
That
he
was
didn't
pretty
want to go
strong
to
stuff.
Adelaide because of the Tex
it's
Walker.
very strong to say that.
yeah, it's especially.
So what did she say for those who haven't seen it?
I'll let Nick say it. So
Well,
I
I'll
don't
go to
get
the
sued.
wider. I missed a lot of the wider context. So I just got a lot of the social clips. But saying that one of the reasons he didn't want to go to Adelaide was part of the Tex Walker racism ban.
From a couple of years ago,
From a couple of years
where
ago.
he made those comments.
He made the comments
SANFL.
at Sanford level and was sort of banned on the back.
And then there was something that got rehashed at Gather Round. He was on a panel text or something, and he was asked about it.
Yes.
Right.
What may have upset some people was it Eddie Maguire?
Yeah.
Mate highlighted it and it put him in the.
He was the hero.
It put him in the spotlight
Yeah, yeah,
of
exactly.
he's come good.
You've
He's doing
overcome this difficult.
correct. Whereas they're like, hey, he wasn't the one that was.
Yeah, he shouldn't be put on a pedestal for
Cor-
that.
that was also part of it.
Yeah.
But the Nas stuff was.
So if Adelaide's out and then his management have come out and said that's not the case.
They have to do that.
That's fabricated. Yeah, and again, like you
We
take
don't-
everything with a grain of salt.
There's no way we can sit here and know what's right and wrong. We
No,
can
and
only
I believe
take people
Ca-
on their word.
And I believe Carolyn Wilson reported that as that's what the Port Adelaide camp believes to be the situation.
I can't imagine Caro is just going to come out and say something like that without having.
But it's,
Well, yeah,
some
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
information.
Chris,
No, but
she's
it's
not,
either
you
it's
know-
right or wrong.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's not like
It's true.
it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
So,
There can be blurs of right and wrong, though.
but the manager said that's not the case.
No, but there's a world where Naz has mentioned that once or twice to somebody.
And then that
it's
that's
become-
what you pick as a
it's blown
newsworthy
out of
moment.
proportion, and then that's gotten back. Those things can all be true and false at the same time. It's a very murky space. This,
Yeah, it's a
this
lot of
trade
grey.
stuff.
Just
Anyway,
grey
so
about-
you think he's...
Well, anyway, so if it's Port Adelaide, where would you rather see him play his football, out of Port Adelaide and St Kilda?
just from a pure...
From a pure, like a football purist, where you
Port
think the two
Adelaide,
clubs
'cause
are
there's
going?
5 good players I'd like to watch there. There's
Yeah,
none
if
at
I
St
could
Kilda.
choose, I'd choose Adelaide.
Yeah, I'd choose Adelaide
Imagine
as well.
him on that team. Then
I know.
you're talking.
Because they don't have that.
They don't have
see,
that.
and I don't know where Port's going. And if Zach Butters leaves as well,
All of a sudden, Adelaide are getting text to 300 real quick.
yeah.
All right, Tex,
see
we'll
you
wrap
later.
you up, mate. And
Yep, time to go. Is it me?
I don't know.
Did you
yeah,
just do
I believe
Adelaide?
so. I did one.
What did you do?
St Kilda.
Oh, okay. You did want to get something out of St Kilda. Okay.
that was an easy one.
Yeah, it was
Last
right.
night landed his
I didn't
lap.
really. I only
It's
had
a
half the
freak
information.
Yeah, he had none of us.
Okay, Essendon. Wait for it. Now they're doing it right. They're doing it right.
Right, okay. What? Which
8
part?
debutantes.
Yeah.
Keep coming.
Yeah,
Just
bring 'em
keep-
in.
Keep
Yeah.
bringing them in, and then they're playing them, right? They're not just dropping them after a week. They're playing them.
The only thing is, why can't they just do that and have Zach Merritt in the midfield? Why are you going to do one,
No,
one
put that
weird
here.
thing every
no,
time?
No, I've put that here too. They're losing games.
Yeah,
which is exactly.
okay.
They're actually a little too close to the 8 for my liking.
Yeah,
They'd
you're
like,
nervous.
They'd like to drift back a little bit, but there are 5 teams that are 1 win behind them. Absorb it is what I've written here. Absorb it. And to do
Yeah.
that, keep playing Zach Merritt at halfback, because if you put him in the middle, you might win 1 or 2 more that you want to win.
Yes.
So stay down.
Stay there,
They got a
Zachy
lot
boy.
of games.
Yeah.
Lean into it.
It's true. They're only like two results away from like 15th.
Correct. And that they're right in that space. They got Geelong this week, so just let it be. Then they got Freo. They Gold Coast. They got a tough little run coming up. Lean into it. Lean into it. This is what I've been saying for years, Essendon. Do it. Just do it.
If you have any Category B rookies, now's the time to give them a go.
Time to put a line through the 2 guys. When you mention one, you got to mention the other. Well, who am I going to say? I'm going to say Hobbs and
Oh, Hobsardis.
it's not going to happen there.
Done.
I would like to see those guys get another chance at another club, but clearly it's not going to work there. They just don't fit.
No.
You're too many guys.
So is Hobbs any different to Sheldrick?
Yeah, I'd
Yeah, Sheldrick's
in a
better than
heartbeat,
Hobbs.
I'd take Sheldrick. But I know what he's saying. Like, if Hobbs was given a chance for a month, could he be? We just don't know.
I think you almost rate them by the people holding them out of the team. Like who's above them on the list and who haven't they jumped?
I mean, Sydney haven't.
But the coaching's hard too, because Brad Scott has typically been a guy who's stayed with the
There'd be different.
older,
There'd
bigger
be different
bodies.
ages too, wouldn't they? Hobbs and
Wouldn't be
They're
much.
pretty close.
Hobbs and Sardis?
Hobbs might be older.
Sheldrick.
Hobbs might be older than Sheldrick.
It's about the same. It's not. There wouldn't be much difference.
Yeah,
You
like
check
21,
that one
22
out.
now?
Are we done? Did the siren go?
No. Wish
There it is.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing. You just speak it to the universe.
I know it's incredible.
Sometimes these things happen.
It's timing is everything.
Oh, Zave,
well, Zave's
he's
next,
Googling
but,
away.
he's googling.
No, I'll be have this 21, both 21.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, here you
Still
go.
time.
2 months older.
Hobbs
Hobbs.
is. Yeah. Right.
Okay, so I'm going to get my phone back up. Now, there's a player we speak of and highlight as being the best player in the competition.
Nick Dacos.
Well, it's a toss of the
Marcus
coin.
Bontempelli. Those 2 guys.
I'd love to hack Caterpillar, who do the GPS data,
Oh yeah.
hack in and get up Marcus Bontempelli's GPS numbers. And I know people from the Bulldogs listen to this, so if you've got the details, please let me know. I don't reckon Marcus Bontempelli got above 65% max speed on the weekend. He jogged from contest to 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 contest, Marcus Bontempelli. He just jogged around, ran through the stoppages at every stoppage. And I was like, oh, geez, come on, because you just expected him to end up just getting it. He didn't get it. And I went back through his last 4 games. Coaches votes he's a megastar.
Yeah. They love him.
Gold Coast,
Coach's darling.
Gold Coast 0 votes, Essendon 0 votes, Geelong 0 votes, and Hawks would have got 0 votes.
Wow.
Is the Bont sore or what's going on with the Bont?
Must be something going on with him.
But when,
he started
because when
late,
he first
didn't he?
came back in,
Hasn't signed
when he
yet
first
either.
came back in, max votes, and then hasn't touched the scoreboard 4 weeks in a row.
Must
He,
be
he
something.
didn't have a preseason,
He just,
is that right?
yeah, but there was, and I know Bont's not typically the day cost you see going,
No.
and he just jogged.
Did you have something on him for
Did so that's what the problem is.
You can always tell when Zane's been watching guys run.
I'd watched
that-
them so close.
Well, there
Why
you go.
are
It was
they
a-
not doing this?
It was a calf. So there's probably something about him not wanting to open up.
Yeah, no. So, but I don't know. I watched him extremely closely because of fantasy and all that sort of stuff
Yeah,
as
of
well.
course, yeah.
But also, I love watching the Bont. Like, who doesn't turn the Bulldogs on and go.
You got Bont in your fantasy side?
Yeah.
Okay, I might just make some changes to my trades.
Yeah, who do you want to watch? You watch Bont. But like Matt Kennedy and those guys have been outstanding.
Yeah.
Ed Richards.
Yep.
But Bont hasn't been Bont yet.
Yeah, okay. No, that's a
Just
fair
keep
point.
an eye on it. Bont has not been Bont yet.
So yesterday when I was on radio with you, we were talking about Erasmus, and I said there's 3 Vic clubs and they're in the finals race. I couldn't tell you who they were, and you went through and you said, "Well, it's Geelong, Hawthorn, and Collingwood." And I said the race, not the 8. And you said, "Well, they're the only ones in the race." And I said, "What about the Bulldogs?"
Yeah.
He said, "No, they're done." And you just said they're done.
You said they're done?
They're not in the finals race. So were you just being a dick in the moment?
I was being a massive dick.
Okay, so they're still in the race.
Of course they are.
And
I think
you
they've
got
got
Sam Darcy back this week.
and I think they've got a couple of kills on the horizon.
Well, you nervous? You don't think it's going to
He
work?
does look like that tall, lanky body that
don't like
is
it.
going to land like a baby
yeah,
giraffe
it's
all
like
the
Wembenyama.
time.
It's a Wembenyama.
It's Wemby.
Just be
Every
fine. Be
every
okay.
jump looks like a hyperextension is going to happen.
Oh,
Makes
don't
me
say
nervous.
that. Don't put that. Yeah, it's touchwood.
Touch wood.
Out of the universe.
Port. All right. Was it the winners of the Yuck Zone Cup on the weekend? But did we actually learn anything about them? I think for me, it's a no. It was again the same guys.
You so badly wanted to bullet Port, didn't you?
I kind of did, yes.
Well,
I think
you
they had
can
a lot
tell with the
there.
first sentence.
Well, they beat
Where are we
the
at
Giants.
here? Where
Where are we at?
It's a yuck zone.
Where are we at? Well, no. What did you learn? So
What did you
Rosie,
learn?
Bergman, Butters.
Hold on. There's what's the vibe?
What did
Where
you
are they
learn?
at? And what did we learn?
Did we learn anything?
I reckon I'm going to throw that to you, Rinny. What did you learn, mate?
I
did you
learned
learn?
nothing. This is my point. I learned nothing about them. They get a win over another struggler, and it's Zach Butters and Connor Rosie.
Have we done the 15 Port players with him yet?
I could probably get that.
Let's do it. 15. Go. 60 seconds. I'm going to set the time. Hold on. Don't think.
Can
Oh,
I just
wait.
give you one tip when you do this?
Yeah.
Move from one part of the ground to the other.
Go.
Don't
That
just
doesn't help.
spitball.
Don't help him at all. You're in.
Butters.
Yep.
Rosie.
I need whole names.
Zach Butters, Connor Rosie, Jason Horn-Francis, Miles Bergman. No, because then I think of someone that's the wrong person, then I get stuck. No, we did do these guys because I talked about the
well, just keep going.
Aliir, Liam Jones. No.
No.
What's his name?
Nope.
Liam
Nope.
halfback.
Nope.
Small mullet.
Don't.
Yeah, that's the
No,
one.
knows the one. I'm not giving
Don't.
you.
Nah, why can't I get his name? Oh, fuck.
Maybe move on.
Willie Rioli, Mitch Georgiades. No, we did have this because I got the
Georgia.
Dante
Yeah,
Vicentini.
Well, okay, that's 8. You're still not there, though.
Yeah, I know.
You've done some
The
damage
fact
to
that
the
we've
brain
done
cells.
it once, you should have been able to do it easy
Well, yeah,
the
no, but
second
then
time.
I've eased off it again.
You've only got 12 seconds left. You are 8 short.
All the boys, Jace Burgoyne.
Jace Burgoyne. Because you couldn't get Jace Burgoyne's first name last time.
That's right. It's
You
just
got
old
4
Bergs.
seconds. You got to 9.
You got to 9. Blow him up.
There you go. 9. It's way harder than you think, but
When you're on the spot.
No, that's a poor effort, though.
Yeah, I know. That wasn't great. I wasn't prepared at all.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I must have one team left.
You got one.
It's North Melbourne. So this WA arrangement for them, by the way, stole the game, and even to the point where I think it was Jai Simpkin I interviewed straight away after the game, and he just straight out said we didn't deserve to win that
No.
game.
How was
Like,
it? Atmosphere-wise, everybody just...
everything other than the game
everything off the field.
was fantastic.
Should turn the
The
cameras
game,
around.
dog shit. But it's funny when you're on the boundary and you don't have all the stats and there are some stats you can access if you want, but when you're just watching it at that ground level, because of the physicality, crashing packs, right?
But surely you turned your head to the right at one stage and said, shit, it's only 1 goal to 0. That's f***ing ordinary, isn't it?
Yeah, that was obvious. But the rest of it, I was like, oh, yeah, it's willing out there. But then you start to absorb it and you go, oh, this is actually shit.
I'm going to make an outlandish statement here.
Go on.
All right, so us three are in North Melbourne gear.
Sure.
We're playing,
Oh.
right? And Harley Reid's got the ball, and he's running towards goals. He's out. There's me, you, Rinny,
Yeah.
and Luke Davies Uniac chasing.
Yep.
We're chasing hard. We've got 50 metres to chase defensively.
It's like a race.
The first 3 over the line chasing defensively would be us 3.
Whoa.
LDU.
Even Nick.
Nick's
I
got
beat
him.
him.
Nick's got him. I'm telling you.
That's
Jeez.
rare.
Wow,
He's in red
Well, it'd
territory.
be us 3. It'd be us 3, and I don't know if LDU even gets to the finish line because it's 50 metres defensively. Mate,
Oh, there's a whack for LDU. That's
Don't make a video out of that.
Clip that.
Don't clip that. I just made an outlandish statement because it's North Melbourne and don't put me
he's in the
shit.
tent.
You cannot have started this arrangement better for them. So they play 2 games a year for 3 years,
Yeah.
$7.5 million.
Get a win.
They couldn't, if they'd come over here and been lost to West Coast and smacked by Freo, then everyone starts going, oh, you can't sell your home games. What damage are you doing? They come over and they win.
Can I
Perfect
ask
start.
you, though?
Go.
So the $1 million comes in each year,
$2.5 million a year.
2.5 mil. So they're still getting propped up by the AFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where does the 2.5 million go? Where can they spend it? They've got a soft cap, so they can't spend it there.
The AFL
Where
says
does the
you
money
gotta
go?
spend- The
So
AFL
the
basically
AFL
pays for you to pay the cap.
So the big thing for North Melbourne has been for a long time, and they're trying to minimise what they need to rely on the AFL for.
Yeah.
So and the AFL encourages that too. The AFL don't want us to get a hand
No,
out,
so it just goes to, hey, we've got an extra 2.5 in the account.
Yeah.
We only need
Yeah.
5 million this
Or-
year, not 7 or
yeah,
whatever.
or
it
they
is.
put it to increasing the
Membership,
the
marketing spend.
stuff that they've got at their facility, and they look after it in other ways. Maybe they need to upgrade the cafe at the facility to get more members. I don't know. Like
Maybe they
whatever.
need to get us 3 boys new boots so we can chase defensively
Maybe,
really hard.
but it's a tick for them. That's a big tick. And now they're in house money, right?
And that spray I gave was probably courtesy of me mate Selby, who cannot stop pointing out LDU running defensively anymore.
And you finish this off here?
Let's go to Richmond. Those poor Richmond supporters that listen. No real good news for you guys at the moment.
No.
You scored 1 goal after quarter time, which sucks.
Are they
but-
entering the ugly phase now?
Yeah, I was about to say, I think
gonna roll over?
the bye's come at a good time.
Yeah.
Bye has come at a good time. I think there's not a Richmond supporter in the league who wouldn't go, righto, we've won 3 games. People had us pending to win 0.
Yeah.
So you've won 3 at the turn. Buys at the right time. I do think the wheels are starting to get really, really wobbly.
2 top 4 picks though.
Fantastic. But the one thing that I did notice that the centre bounces on the weekend, Taranto, Hopper, Nank and Prestia were the high ends. McAuliffe was in there as well, down the bottom end of that trio, that quad. Got to find someone else in there.
Some youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Taranto and Hopper and them had 20 or whatever it was, and Nank and Prestia. Like, maybe if we can just, like, a little bit of Zach Merritt sort of stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know Prestia's fought injury for a long
There's
time.
a
but
couple of their draftees haven't played. Just Smiley and Houghton. Those 2 guys.
Yeah,
they haven't played.
Smiley, he was a high end.
Yeah, there's
stuff.
some hamstring stuff going on.
Yeah.
But
for
I
a
just,
while.
even if it's just Taranto forward for a game and be like, hey, mate, this is just going to be a role for a week. We're just going to play kids in there. You're not going to win. I think the wheels are coming off.
Yeah.
You've got enough experience in there if Hopper and Prestia are in there, but I don't think all 3 of those midfielders, experienced players, should be in there all at once.
I agree.
I think there should be a little bit more turnover.
Presti's
gotta
not-
be
what's
peppering him.
his how many games do you think he's going to play in a row before something?
Well, we're at 2. That's
Well, I'm hoping
better than we
the
thought.
end of the year, because I had the same injury problems. It gives you the shits, and it's actually horrible. But hopefully he sees out the year. I wouldn't have given him any.
How many
another year,
more do
but
they win?
I don't think they get another one.
Maybe
think they get
one.
another
Have they got West Coast? They would have.
I think.
No, I think we already played them
Sure. No, I
twice.
don't think so. No, they haven't played them twice.
Haven't they?
No.
Just one over there.
Have to
There must
play.
be one over here then.
Have to play twice.
Surely.
Have to.
Surely. Well, let's round out the last 10 seconds by working out if West Coast or Richmond play each other again.
Here we go. I got it here.
Hold on.
It's a race.
Who gets it first?
Yeah, got it. Round 19.
Round 19. It's here. What's that one? A Saturday night? Oh,
Saturday night. Keen's texting.
Where would you rather be?
Well, I'm just texting Gilesy now.
Tell him you're busy
Not
that
there.
night. All right.
We are brought to you by Tab Touch. Got the touch? Download the Tab Touch app today. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. All right, it's been the Hardball Gets AFL show. We'll see you again tomorrow for the mailbag. Catch you then.